Rail strike averted over rail deal that gives workers more time off, The Washington Post. Tough attendance policies influenced Aaron Hiles's decision to skip his doctor's appointment so he wasn't penalized at his railroad job. These policies are at the heart of the high-stakes confrontation this past week between the nation's largest rail carriers. Aaron Hiles, a locomotive engineer, told his wife he felt different. Though he couldn't say exactly how, he made an appointment to see a doctor. His family said. But then his employer, BNSF, one of TH. Plus 8788 Charles. Princes William and Harry led somber vigil by Queen's coffin. CNN. Prince William, Prince Harry and Queen Elizabeth II's other grandchildren held a vigil at her lying in state on Saturday, as the royal family prepares to bid farewell to the late monarch at her state funeral. Null. Colorado plane crash. 3 people killed after midair collision. The Washington Post. Officials were investigating the midair Boulder County collision that killed 3 people. A sheriff's deputy said, 2 planes crashed midair in Colorado on Saturday, killing 3 people. Authorities say. Joshua Bonafede, a Boulder County sheriff's deputy, said 2 planes collided on Saturday morning. One plane W. Plus 1923 Chars. Study finds potential link between daily multivitamin, improved cognition in older adults. KSL.com. Taking a daily multivitamin might be associated with improved brain function in older adults. A new study says. And the benefit appears to be greater for those with a history of cardiovascular disease. Estimated read time, 5 to 6 minutes. Winston-Salem, NC. Taking a daily multivitamin might be associated with improved brain function in older adults. A new study says. And the benefit appears to be gray. Plus 6049 Chars. New images show intriguing Perseverance discovery on Mars. CNN. This week. Explore new Martian discoveries made by the Perseverance rover. Learn which pioneering breakthroughs snagged the Golden Goose Awards. See endangered species in a new light. Marvel at the latest Webb telescope image. And more. A version of this story appeared in CNN's Wonder Theory Science newsletter. To get it in your inbox, sign up for free here. CNN. If you love space and exploring the cosmos, there is no shortage of. Plus 5027 Chars. Oklahoma vs. Nebraska score. Takeaways. No. 6 Sooners dominate Huskers. Score most points against rival. CBS Sports. The Huskers failed to impress in the first game of the post-Scott Frost era on Saturday. No. 6 Oklahoma handed Nebraska one of the worst losses in its program history on Saturday with a 49-14 decision at Memorial Stadium in Lincoln, Nebraska. The 49 points mark the most scored by the Sioux. Plus 3505 Chars. First review of retail Intel Core i9-13900K, Raptor Lake, CPU emerges, videocards.com. Unlimited Core i9-13900K tested over at Bilibili. One can find a comprehensive review of a retail version of the Core i9-13900K processor, the flagship Raptor Lake desktop CPU that is supposedly coming out next month. The review is a collaboration between ECS, over at Bilibili, One can find a comprehensive review of a retail version of the Core i9-13900K processor, the flagship Raptor Lake desktop CPU that is supposedly coming out next month. The review I+3744 chars. Fed to keep interest rates above 4% beyond 2023. Economists predict. Financial Times. News. Analysis and comment from the Financial Times, the world's leading global business publication. Keep abreast of significant corporate, financial and political developments around the world. Stay informed and spot emerging risks and opportunities with independent global reporting. Expert.com. +32 chars. The Queen's grandsons display their medals. Daily Mail. The Queen's 4 male grandchildren showed off the collection of service medals as they stood guard over Her Majesty's coffin in Westminster Hall. The Queen's 4 male grandchildren showed off the collection of service medals as they stood guard over Her Majesty's coffin in Westminster Hall. Prince William was joined by his brother Prince. +7800 chars. Oklahoma vs. Nebraska score. Takeaways. No. 6 Sooners dominate Huskers. Score most points against rival. CBS Sports. The Huskers failed to impress in the first game of the post-Scott Frost era on Saturday. No. 6 Oklahoma handed Nebraska one of the worst losses in its program history on Saturday with a 49-14 decision at Memorial Stadium in Lincoln, Nebraska. The 49 points mark the most scored by the Sioux. +3505 chars. Doctors say some people may be COVID super dodgers since they haven't gotten the virus yet. WSB Atlanta. Is that pure luck? Maybe super immunity, or is it something else altogether? The CDC estimates 95 million people nationwide have had COVID-19 at least once. But there are still some people who say they haven't gotten the virus yet. Is that pure luck? Maybe super immunity, or +2333 chars. Art meets science in analysis of ancient dancing horse statue. The Washington Post. Cutting-edge analytical techniques helped solve the mystery and revealed more about the object's history. A 1,300-year-old sculpture of a dancing horse, a precious relic of China's Tang dynasty, captured an ancient tradition of trained horses performing for emperors. But curators at the Cincinnati Art Muse. +2067 chars. Buffalo Bills wide receiver Gabe Davis questionable versus Tennessee Titans with ankle injury. ESPN. Buffalo Bills wide receiver Gabe Davis is officially questionable for the Monday night game against the Tennessee Titans with an ankle injury after being limited in practice Saturday. Orchard Park, NY. Buffalo Bills wide receiver Gabe Davis is officially questionable for the Monday night game against the Tennessee Titans with an ankle injury. Davis was a new addition to the +2040 chars. 7 minutes of Resident Evil Village Shadows of Rose DLC gameplay. IGN. Null. Your browser isn't supported anymore. Update it to get the best YouTube experience and our latest features. Learn more. Remind me later. Can the Fed tame inflation without further crushing the stock market? What investors need to know. MarketWatch. Investors should brace for more volatility with policymakers expected to deliver another jumbo rate hike. The Federal Reserve isn't trying to slam the stock market as it rapidly raises interest rates in its bid to slow inflation still running red hot, but investors need to be prepared for more pain and volume. Plus 5477 chars. Top 10 Friday Night SmackDown moments. WWE Top 10. September 16, 2022 WWE. Null. Your browser isn't supported anymore. Update it to get the best YouTube experience and our latest features. Learn more. Remind me later. Yeshiva University halts clubs after SCOTUS ruling on LGBTQ group, The Washington Post. It's the latest attempt by the private modern Orthodox Jewish university to avoid giving the YU Pride Alliance the same access to facilities as other clubs. Yeshiva University on Friday abruptly halted the activities of all its undergraduate clubs while it considers how to respond to a U.S. Supreme Court order compelling the private New York school to plus 4326 chars. Ever wondered why you get so many mosquito bites? Blood type could explain it. CNET. Here are 5 possible reasons why you're more attractive to mosquitoes than others. While summer is by far my favorite season, fall is a close second. The moderate temperatures mean I can spend more time outside doing things I love. Hiking, walking and spending time at the lake. But plus 6733 chars. Astronomer Virginia Trimble. There were 14 women on the Caltech campus when I arrived in 1964, The Guardian. The veteran scientist reflects on her career as an astronomy prodigy. The Face of the Twilight Zone and Richard Feynman's Life Model. Astronomy as her book of essays by female astronomers is published. The veteran scientist reflects on her career as an astronomy prodigy. The Face of the Twilight Zone and Richard Feynman's Life Model. Plus 7902 chars. South Carolina students delay Georgia game with title IX ceremony. Irate coach yells to "Get off the field," Fox News. A title IX celebration in between the first and second quarters delayed the Georgia-South Carolina game. And Gamecocks coach Shane Beamer wasn't pleased. The South Carolina Gamecocks might need all the help they can get to beat Georgia Saturday. But delaying the game wasn't exactly in the plans. In between the first and second quarters. The University. Plus 1979 chars. The Pixel 7's Tensor G2 chipset looks to be just a spruced-up version of the original SOC, Android. Police. Null. Europe suffers fuel prices soar as Russia cuts natural gas supply. The Washington Post. Vladimir Putin's weaponization of natural gas. Withholding shipments. Europeans say. To punish the West for imposing sanctions on Russia. Is dropping a bomb on consumers in some of the richest countries on Earth. Berlin-Jurg Mertens knew the West's standoff with Russia had sent energy prices soaring across Europe. But his August bills left him gobsmacked. His energy tab had surged by 70%. I'm afraid. S. Plus 10894 chars. What you talking about? Samuel Guevara? Cageside Seats. Sammy's changed up his social media profiles. Removing EW references and tweeting messages that look and sound like goodbyes. Just making sure he gets a piece of the spotlight. Or a sign big changes are in store for the talented yet controversial young star. Late last night, after Rampage went off the air, Sammy Guevara tweeted this. The gif itself, of Jim Carrey at the end of The Truman Show, is pretty self-explanatory. Spoiler warning for an almost 25+2639 chars. Huge mistake. DeSantis migrant transports could undercut support in South Florida. Politico. The move by DeSantis dominated the radio and television airwaves in South Florida, where large swaths of Hispanic voters live. From a Miami perspective, it's a huge mistake, said State Sen. Annette Tadeo, a Democrat challenging incumbent Rep. Maria Elvira Salazar. Fla. All these Republicans, including my opponent, historic +5834 chars. In a first, scientists use designer immune cells to send an autoimmune disease into remission. LiveScience.com. The therapy will now be tested in larger trials. 5 patients with hard-to-treat lupus entered remission after scientists tweaked their immune cells using a technique normally used to treat cancer. After the one-time therapy, all 5 patients with +5621 chars. Extraterrestrial water found for first time in meteorite that landed in UK. Sky News. Extraterrestrial water has been discovered for the first time in a meteorite that landed in the UK. The meteorite crashed into a driveway in the Gloucestershire town of Winchcombe last February and +2818 chars. Heung-min Son's hat-trick for Tottenham Hotspur v. Leicester City, Premier League, NBC Sports. NBC Sports. Relive Heung-min Son's spectacular 13-minute hat-trick in Tottenham's 6-2 demolition of Leicester City. #NBC Sports #Premier League #Heung-min Son. Subscribe to Null. Sly as a fox. 2024 Ford Mustang has a hidden throwback feature. Fox News. The 2024 Ford Mustang features a digital dashboard that can be configured to resemble the retro instrument cluster from the 1987 to 1993 Fox body Mustang. Detroit crank up the Vanilla Ice. The 2024 Ford Mustang revealed at the Detroit Auto Show is the most modern and technologically advanced version of the venerable muscle car ever built. But it has +1870 chars.